Frank, and today we are. I wish I would. I wish I had the awesome thing of riding a motorcycle and having a what looked like a 5 foot skull behind me. That'd be cool. But I'm not Wrestling Rue, but wanted to say thank you, Wrestling Rue, for showing up and talking with us. It was a good time. Want to do it again for sure. And hopefully we'll be able to. I'm going to real quickly set her up so that where is mine? Huh. They changed the. I just realized they changed the integration here, but that's okay. I need to get some water. So what I'm going to do is just real quickly put a thingy here, and I will be right back on the 1, 2, 3. Just got some water because it's a good thing, even though I'm not supposed to drink too much. But for personal reasons, I can now drink water. I can drink water right now. That's about all I wanted to say about that. Here we go. Back to 1, 2, 3. So anyway, let's start where we always start. The superstar of the week. And today's superstar of the week is Lanny Marco Poffo, better known by his ring names Leaping Lanny Poffo and The Genius. He was a Canadian-American professional wrestler, motivational speaker, poet, and actor. Poffo was second-generation professional wrestler. His father was Angelo Poffo, and his brother was Randy Savage, who was also a professional wrestler, which most people know that. Poffo was born in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, to Angelo Poffo, an Italian-American Catholic, and Judy Poffo, a Jewish-American. He was a younger brother of Macho Man Randy Savage and grew up in Downers Grove, Illinois. Poffo made his debut in 1974, losing to Wayne Cohen in an opening match of an All-South Wrestling Alliance card held in Atlanta, Georgia on April 16th. Poffo remained in the promotion for several months, defeating Cowan in a rematch and also gaining a win over the Great Fuji on a card on July 9th, 1974. In Atlanta, he teamed with his father, Angelo Poffo, for the first time, defeating veteran team the Royal Kangaroos. Still in his rookie year, Poffo and his father then headed to Big Time Wrestling, one of the very promotions affiliated by the National Wrestling Alliance at the time. In their initial match with BTW, with Big Time Wrestling, okay, Lanny and Angelo lost by disqualification to Lou Thesz and the Mighty Igor. On November 30th, 1974, at a house show in Detroit, Michigan. They quickly began a house show series against the team of Bobo Brazil and Fred Curry. The two wrestled as heels, with Angelo Poffo wearing a graduation gown and cap similar to the attire Lanny later adopted in the WWF. That year, they won the NWA World Tag Team Championship, and the father-son duo held it until 1975 with successful defenses over the Mongols and Brazil Curry, while still tag team champions. The Poffos moved to the St. Louis Wrestling Club and continued to defend their championship. In 1975, they lost the title and returned to Big Time Wrestling. 1976 found Lana wrestling primarily in singles matches at Big Time Wrestling, NWA Western States, and the St. Louis Wrestling Club on May 29, 1976. He was with International Championship Wrestling 1979 to 1984. In 1978, Lanny's father, Angelo Poffo, founded the International Championship Wrestling, an outlaw rival to NWA affiliates, Southeastern Championship Wrestling, and the NWA Mid-America. Eventually, Angelo further expanded and signed talent away from the World Wrestling. Really? You'll wait an hour is what you'll do. Sorry about that. I have been having some problems with Microsoft. Just going to take a minute to talk about that. They keep having a thing where they need me to do updates. I say, okay, update it now, and they don't. And then they just keep flashing this stupid thing and not doing anything about it. It's very annoying. Mid-South Wrestling from 1984. Shortly before the dissolution of the ICW, Lanny began making appearances in Bill Watson Mid-South Wrestling. His first matches came on October 12, 1983, when he defeated Art Cruz and Doug Vines at an MSW television taping in Shreveport. He was in Continental Wrestling Association 1984 to 1985. On June 18, 1984, Lanny joined his brother Randy Savage, who had jumped to Continental Wrestling Association, defeating Bart Batten and Johnny Wilhoit in an event in Memphis. Leaping Lanny Poffo, 1985 to 1989. Poffo debuted in the World Wrestling Federation on June 21st, 1985 at Madison Square Garden, defeating Terry Gibbs. Although both Poffo brothers joined the WWF at the same time, their relationship was never acknowledged by the promotion. While Lanny was not headlining WWF star like his brother, he initially built a niche for himself, wrestling as a babyface in his first role as Leaping Lanny Poffo. He would bring frisbees to the ring, read a short poem written on one of them that he himself had penned, and then throw out frisbees. That sounds like a good time. Let's see. But he's best known for being the Genius. On March 18, 1989, Poffo turned heel. He berated the local Boston sports team, insulting them in his poetry, and instantly drew heat from the Boston crowd. He subsequently reintroduced as the Genius. This is one of the first. Well, no, actually, Larry Zbyszko, I guess, was one of the first. He did the Genius gimmick first. But a highly intelligent, arrogant heel who wore an academic cap and gown to the ring after weeks of giving poetry as the Genius. He had his debut against Sonny Rogers and defeated him. His poems now ridiculed the face wrestlers, and he adopted the exaggerated, effeminate, showboating manner, similar to that employed by Gorgeous George. And, so that was Lanny Poffo, and yes, Randy Savage's brother. So, kind of good times. Let's talk about what happened last week on the Elite. Or I should say AEW. So we had the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament, which kicked off Wednesday's Dynamite, forcing AEW World Championship MJF to partner with rival and top contender Adam Cole. That match headlined a broadcast and also featured the latest of the Owen Hart Memorial's Women Tournament and scathing remarks from former world champions Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley. And I would love for commercials not to make this such a hard thing. By the way, this is from Bleacher Report. And I actually do watch these matches, but sometimes I just need a little refresher, especially when it was on Wednesday. So we had the tag team eliminator. We had Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee versus Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. Swerve Strickland had no bones about messing with Keith Lee and sometimes leaving him high and dry against Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. Darby Allin, before the show, decided that it was a great idea to rip on Keith Lee. He later regretted that as Keith Lee tried to break him in half several times. Adam Cole and MJF were tag team eliminator. They ended up going against, I think it was the Butcher and the Blade and someone else. I was not impressed, especially when I had said that clearly they were going to go against FTR, and Wrestling Rue agreed with me, which I thought was cool, but that did not happen, and it would have been a much better match. But the cool stuff where MJF tried to celebrate Adam Cole's birthday, and Adam Cole was actually genuinely touched, was kind of cool. Then we have Brett Baker versus Ruby Soho. I don't feel like Soho is just like, I want her to be something, but I think the problem is the wrestling ability. It's just not there. But she's got such a great gimmick, and her look and all of those things are great, but I just don't feel like she's able to deliver in the ring, and I don't know what needs to happen for that. And then we had Kenny Omega versus Wheeler Yuta, and Kenny Omega went over, and Wheeler Yuta looked pretty good, like he usually does. A little bit thin, but I think he's done really good to look like he's a tough piece of steak. And we got promos from Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho. They could have put some matches here. I don't know. But that's what we had. And then, hold on, let me get to Collision. Or actually, we'll do SmackDown and then we'll do Collision. So hold on. SmackDown. Results. Here we are right here. Oh, we'll go Bleacher Report. Maybe they'll have. Oh, we already did Bleacher Report, didn't we? Oh, well. So the match card, I have not seen much of this, but I've heard good things. There was the trial of the tribal chief. One Quarter Friday show was dedicated to a tribal court segment, which featured the Usos, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, and the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. It featured some of the best work of the latter's career and the latest developments in one of the greatest storylines in WWE history. Reigns was at his most manipulative, gaslighting best. Just when the world thought he had turned a new leaf, he was ready to hand over control of the bloodline to Jey Uso. He delivered a low blow that gave way to a wild and chaotic brawl. The teased Sikoa taking over the mantle as tribal chief before standing tall alongside his cousin after obliterating Jimmy Uso. The injury angle that occurred after the break, in which Jimmy was stretchered out of the arena, left an ambulance, would seemingly take him out of the picture and set up a scenario in which Jey will have to go it alone if he is to challenge Reigns for his title, presumably as early as SummerSlam. The crowd is now singing along with the entrance theme of the Usos, continuing something that started Saturday in London. I want to talk about this. The crowd is singing to everything now, which is great. I'm fine with it, but it is a thing. None of you will ever tell Paul Heyman to stop talking, the special counsel said just seconds before Sikoa stopped him from talking by taking the mic away. So the Reigns was really solid with the character. So one of the fun things that Reigns did was he tossed down the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, knelt before Jay, and delivered a low blow. Then we had the United States Championship match, Sheamus versus Austin Theory. Which continued Friday as the two clashed in a high-stakes title bout. The match was solid enough from what we got to see it, but was hampered by excessive commercial breaks. It was likely to make up for the length of the Bloodline segment, which I guess a lot of people are complaining about, that the segment was too long. And Theory defeated Sheamus to retain. Then we had Pretty Deadly hitting the ring, right on schedule, distracting the Celtic Warrior and breaking up a cloverleaf submission attempt. Then Butch and Ridge Holland arrived to fend off Kit Wilson and Elton Prince, accidentally providing just enough distraction for them to allow Theory to score the cheap win over Sheamus. Then we had Grayson Waller effect with Edge. Grayson Waller thought Edge had chosen his show to announce his retirement from professional wrestling, but it turns out that was not the case. So it was kind of a little swerve there. Then we had AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross. That would have been pretty good, except for I guess they haven't really built it up. They wrote the latest chapter in their rivalry with a minutes-long match that saw the Phenomenal One defeat the former NXT champion with the phenomenal forearm. But Styles defeated Kross, which is about what you would expect. Scarlett tried to interfere with no real move there. Before WWE Women's Champion Asuka could address the fans on MSG, she was interrupted by Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, and Bayley as a chaotic brawl ensued. And it's not a very good match, I guess. Then we had Edge versus Grayson Waller, and Edge silenced him in the main event with the in-ring promotion of Friday's show, but not without showing his young opponent a modicum of respect afterwards. And so it's a pretty good match, as you would expect, with Edge. And now we have Collision. AEW Collision. I'm trying to remember the. It's funny. I watch these things, and for some reason, there we go. We'll go with cage side seats. Punk hits the ring right away while the show's theme song is still playing. Saturday is the night for fighting, if you haven't heard. He asks for a mic and then starts speaking before he's even in the ring. Loud chants for him. By the way, no music, just straight out the gate. He says he has a big match against Joe tonight and he doesn't want to take up too much time, but he wants to remind folks of the history that needs telling. He recognizes the gravity of the moment and calls this the biggest match of his career. It could be, if I could for a moment, if Joe kills me in a dream, he better wake up and apologize. He says history will be made tonight. That time will stand still. It's been 18 years since he's been in the ring with Joe. He's got missing teeth because of Joe, scars all over his body because of him. But bigger than all that is one name, Owen Hart. He asks the fans to chant that name, and of course they do. If it wasn't for Owen, Punk says a lot of locker rooms wouldn't be wrestling, and he may not even be there right now. You can champion him. You can talk about how great anyone else is, but none of them would be there if it wasn't for Owen Hart. And of course, they start a CM Punk chant. Then we have Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks. A pretty good match up until we had QT Marshall grabbed the ankle while Starks was trying to run the ropes. The officials saw it and at least thought she did, so she focused her attention there. Hobbs hit the spine buster, but the ref never counted because she was busy talking with Marshall. Hobbs got off the pin to yell at him and then knocked into him from behind before Starks hit the spear for the win. And Hobbs was not too happy about that, so he was going to attack QT. And then Aaron Solo got involved to get in front of Marshall. That was hit with a spine buster. Then it was Harley Cameron's turn to get in the ring and jump in front of him. And that was enough for Hobbs to take off. Then we had Miro's back. He's looking for a righteous path, but he's not fighting tonight, which seems to be the thing. I don't know if he's actually injured, but it seems like it is taking a long time. I think he did have a match a while ago, but it was not somewhat heavy on the card. Excuse me. Willow Nightingale is backstage talking with Tony Schiavone about how she's injured in Japan and can't get cleared to wrestle tonight. Then, of course, Athena shows up to say that Willow ruined her Collision debut. She can't help but wonder if the injury is even legit. And so that will be set for next Saturday. A video airs with a special look with the upcoming Blood and Guts match pitting Blackpool Combat Club against the Elite. Oh, it's actually just a short promo letting us know they'll take a special look at it on Dynamite next week. Then we had Julia Hart versus Bambi Hall. This was a match that happened. Julia Hart defeated Bambi Hall via submission. Then they cut to Malachi Black wondering why Andrade, who wears a mask, is telling him not to wear one. And then Andrade comes back and says that, you know, it's his family and all this, and it's really good. Then we had Bullet Club Gold versus FTR as an eliminator match. What luck that both of them actually drew partners that they know. It's really interesting if you think about it, because the rest of the eliminator matches have seemed to be weird mixes, but with this, FTR got exactly their partners, and Bullet Club Gold did too. So what luck. Always a good thing to see that they're doing much better. Bullet Club Gold defeated FTR via pinfall. And Tony Schiavone started interviewing FTR. They start to say it sucks. They lost to the Bullet Club. Gold rolls up and say Tony's interviewing the wrong guys. Then we saw Scorpio Sky versus Action Andretti. I actually missed this match. I'm not sure when it happened exactly. But of course, Scorpio Sky defeated Action Andretti via pinfall. And CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. This was a good match, a long stare down to the match. They really let a moment to breathe, and the early story was Punk avoiding a lot of Joe's big clubbing blows by quickly scampering away. They did the awesome spot where Punk hit a springboard. That's what gave Joe the edge, because he started in with the clubbing blows from there. Eventually, Punk made it more of a back and forth, getting his stuff in. That included the knees in the corner into the elbow drop for 2. Punk went for the GTS but couldn't get it. Joe got a crossface, but Punk broke it by getting to the ropes. A second failed GTS attempt into the near fall for Joe. Crowd chanted for Owen Hart like Punk asked them to do. At the beginning of the evening, Punk tried to go up top, was racked. Joe went for the muscle buster, but Punk avoided it. Swinging neck breaker and a third GTS attempt was countered. Into the sleeper, but Punk rolled him through and managed to steal it with that. And so that was a really good match, and I don't know what we're really going to get now that it's going to be Ricky Starks versus Punk. I don't think that's going to be as good as uh, Joe versus Punk for sure. But I usually would go through Raw, but it looks like I need to speed up. And while I'm speeding up, let me tell you, one way you can help us out is by going to tpublic.com/store/gaming hyphen FIXX. And there you can pick up a t-shirt, not the one I'm wearing right here. This is a WMB shirt, where people make a different shirt. WMPD, and definitely we're broadcasting on that. But you can get a shirt like this one right here, which I have, which is the classic Gaming Fix shirt. You can also get a shirt just like my background right here and help us out. And there's sales running all the time. Not today, unfortunately. But if you get one of these shirts, it helps us. They send us a little bit of coin, and it's not just shirts. It's stickers, pins, laptop cases, computer case, or sorry, not computer cases. That'd be weird. It'd be cool, but they don't do that. Phone cases and mugs and notepads, as well as all kinds of different other types of shirts like hoodies, T-tops, masks, all that fun stuff. Just go on to tpublic.com/store/gaming-FIXX. Hey, another thing you can do if you're trying to just need a little bit of energy, but you don't want that jittery feeling, you can go on to w.gg and just put in Gaming Fix Live. And when you do that, it helps us out, and you'll get 10% off of anything that you buy. And we really appreciate that. Now, let's go on to the card tonight. And I just saw it. There we go. Preview. Gonna give shout outs to AIPT. Never use this one. Apparently they're a comics website. And that's going to be MJF and Adam Cole versus Brian Cage and Big Bill. So that'll be interesting. Two ginormous folks. And then we're going to get Swerve Strickland versus Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne was brought up by Darby Allin, so I'm guessing Darby Allin might come out with them. And then, oh, they're doing that tonight. Oh, no, they're not. They're just going to reveal their fifth man. Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite reveal their fifth men for Blood and Guts. And we got Ruby Soho and Sky Blue, Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. Commander versus Chris Jericho. So is this a Rampage or a Dynamite? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Get your snacks, get your drinks, and go. Let's watch Dynamite. I've been Frank, and this is the 1, 2, 3. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye bye, everybody.